speaking of the Columbia Rotary Club. It's exciting to see you here. It's wonderful to be here with you. It's inspiring to me to know what we as Rotarians around the world do every day. We're making something good happen in the world every day. And that's pretty special. We'll start off today with a song. Rusty and Jim Smithwick. Soft-spoken fella, as you all may know, but I want to tell you he has a beautiful voice as well. Standing this close to him, I can hear him, and he carries notes. He carries those notes out so long, and it's beautiful to hear from up close. Thank you, Jim. David Anderson will now lead us in invitation.
As I pray in my tradition, I invite you to pray in yours. Almighty God, creator of all the universe, we give you thanks for this day, for the opportunities it presents, for the challenges that we face that make us grow, and for the opportunity to be in service for others. Lord, we ask you to be with us during this meeting and help us to focus on the ideals of Rotary. Service to others. Be with us. Ask you to bless the food that we have eaten or are about to eat, to the nourishment of our bodies, that we can use that nourishment to continue to serve others. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, David. And one of the nice, very handy little things that I want to tell you about, sometimes you don't know all the little pieces to what keeps this show moving. And I don't see him here today. Oh yeah, I do see him, as a matter of fact. I think all of you realize how much trouble we've had with this microphone snake thing up here in the past. Well, Richard Belser, Richard, I want to thank you. He walked in the other day and said, I'm going to fix this thing. He brought a new one in and put it on, and it just stands there perfectly. Richard, thank you very much. Becky Earhart, I think, is going to come do visiting Rotarians and guests. And I don't see Becky. Did anybody see her earlier here today? All right. This is going to be a do-it-yourself show here. Hello, we'll try this again. All right. Oh, did it start to work? Hello? Okay. Go ahead and take that.
Okay, if you have a guest with you today, if you will just stand up and we'll come around and pass the mic.
Hi everyone, I'm Glenn Ward. I have with me today Eric Davis, a former member of our club, and Eric has a brief announcement he'd like to make to us.
Thank you, everybody. It's good to be back today. I was in this club about 10 years, and the mic problems brought back a lot of memories. I'm here today to announce the Vista Night Garden Party this year. It's to benefit the foundation, and it's a very simple event. It's a party. You come and have fun. Tickets are $50 each. I'd love for y'all to come out and see us. I have flyers on the tables for you. We take cash, check, or solid gold coins, depending on what you happen to have today. And online, you can use any credit card. If you want to make sure your credit card gets charged, just hand it to me today, and I'll be glad to do that for you. Thank you very much.
Real quickly, in case you don't know, Eric is the president of the Vista Night Rotary Club. He forgot to mention that, so he's out pulling for his club, much as I would be for ours.
My name is Reese Williams. My guest today is my dear friend of many years, and I'm sure many of you know Sam McEwen. Sam asked me to make this statement about him, and John Monk just verified that, in fact, Sam has been certified by the state newspaper on two occasions as a bon vivant and a mover and shaker here in Columbia. My friend Sam McEwen. Welcome, Sam.
I'm Libby Gober, and I'm glad to have as my guest today Charlene Rhodes. Charlene is the owner and executive director of Always Beth Senior Services, in-home care, and assisted living referral services. Welcome, Charlene.
Thank you, Meredith. I'm Matt Kennel, and I am delighted to introduce my guest, Chase Heatherly. Chase is the new publisher of the Free Times weekly newspaper. We're glad to have Chase here. He is from Anderson and has previous experience with the state newspaper, and also was a former Rotarian. So very happy to have Chase with us here today. Welcome.
Beth so she can introduce her table of guests. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? We certainly don't want to leave you out. I know Jim Hudson walked in, a regular. Hey, Jim. Anyone else?
Any other Rotarian? Oh, there he is.
And your name and your club? Welcome.
I'm Amy Beth Franks, the Executive Director of the Five Points Association, and I brought a whole table with me. If y'all would stand, please. These are a couple members of my board of directors. We've got John Sears, Abby Grumbles, John Green, Richard Burtz, Dennis Hiltner, and Lauren Strickland also works with me in the Five Points Association. So thank you for coming. And I'd like to introduce Jack Van Loan's guest. Jack, on your behalf, if you don't mind. Jack would introduce Linda, his wife, as his better half, Linda Van Loan.
And Carl had an announcement. I promised I would bring the mic. This is exhausting. Is it done? Yes.
Thank you, Meredith. At John's request, this is a good time to recognize the supporters of the golf tournament. And I want to thank the whole entire club for supporting the golf tournament in whatever way you did. In particular, I'd like to recognize the golf committee. If I could ask them to stay in just a minute. All right. Secondly, I'd like to ask all the volunteers if you would stand at this time, please. Let's recognize you. On your tables, no good tournament would be complete without a survey. So we have a survey on the table, and if you would, take a few minutes to think about it. I believe it's also been posted online, so you can do it that way too. But we're always eager to make it better, and so with your help, I believe we'll do that very thing next year. Thank you, everyone.
While we're talking about the golf tournament, I want to tell you that even on short notice and scurrying as much as we did to try to get the tournament set up and ready, we were able to raise $7,250.97 on our tournament. And obviously that would not have been possible without our sponsors. And so I would like to go down the list of our sponsors, and I would like, if you are a sponsor and you're here, if you would stand as I read this list, and all of you all remain standing until I get to the end of the list, if you would. Pollock Company, Galen Scopes. Ameris Bank, MZ Wilkins. CF Evans Construction, Carl Myers. Total Comfort Solutions, Jim Reynolds. Honda of Columbia, Perry Shooting. The Windermere Club, John Bacon, that's me. Smith Drayline, Kirk Johnson. JT's Dodge Chrysler of Lexington, JT Gandolfo. And I'm really trying hard to get him to come back to some meetings, so he'll be here soon. WOLO TV, Chris Bailey. Jack Hupp, Rotarian Extraordinaire. Jack's not here today. Cochran Enterprises, Doug Cochran. 94.3 The Dude, Midlands Media Group, Kurt Litton. Palmetto Health, Catherine Davis. I know she's here. Saw her. Well, thought she was. Griffin and Davis Law Firm, James Griffin. Market Research, Frank Brown and Melinda Makovsky. I know Melinda's here. Okay. Let's thank our sponsors. The Austin Book Society, Ann Walker. Oh, wait, there's a whole section down here at the bottom, I'm sorry. Carl Myers individually also sponsored. Austin Wilk Society, Ann Walker. Doctors Eye Care, Wayne Cannon. Wayne's back there in the back, he's giving you a hand. Cobb and Savaga Realty, Jack Cobb. WIS TV, Scott Sanders. Smith Printing, Jerry Smith. I know Jerry's not here today. Stephen Creech, Jerry Pate. I saw Jerry walk in. Jerry's here. Bob Diggle. Bob, thank you. And the Canty Company, William Canty. Billy, I saw him come in. There he is, over there at the far table. Thank all of you for making that a special event. And indeed, this will allow us to complete two projects that we wanted to complete at the end of the year, one of those being to Harvest Hope. So thank you supporters, thank you players, thank you sponsors very much for making that work so well.
John, one got a video, one other sponsor, somehow named Tom lives there.
Okay. Wade Carlisle, not only a volunteer, but a sponsor. Thank you, Wade. I thought that was complete. But anyway, thank you very much. And now, John Asman will give us health and happiness.
Thank you, President John. There's a few folks that left me some notes that were passed along some health and happiness news to me as I was sitting outside. Dr. Cannon, Wayne Cannon, noted he got a company got a call or a message from our past president, Bill Clowney, down the beach, and he says he was doing very well, but he does indeed miss Columbia. Matt Kendall stopped by and mentioned that his daughter Liz is graduating from UNC in Chapel Hill and with a degree in public a master's in public administration, and she does indeed already have a job waiting for her here in Columbia. So that's a good thing. Our President, John Baker, celebrated his 30th wedding anniversary this weekend. We look at And our past club member, Eric Davis, as he came in today, I asked him, and he said his daughter, Emily, is graduating from, I guess, the USC College of School of Nursing this weekend. So that's another good thing. I want to mention that this weekend, Friday and Saturday, is the 25th Annual Festival of Gardens here in Columbia. And opportunity to tour the Elmwood Park neighborhood and with Master Gardener guides there. If you're interested in tickets, I think you can probably just query the internet for Festival Gardens Columbia Green. But I'm going to leave a little brochure or a placard right here, so if you've got a question about it, all your answers are right here. I know we have a few attorneys as members of the group here. If you're an attorney, I mean, it's not a tough question I'm going to ask, but if you're an attorney, all right, so how many of you know what holiday is observed today, or what today is observed as, but it's not a federal public holiday? Wait a minute, I think I heard one. Say it out loud. Law Day. Yes, it is May Day, but it's Law Day. All y'all know about Law Day? Okay. This is a day. Oh, and by the way, I went to the I went to the American Bar Association website, and I went to the South Carolina Bar Association website. No mention of Law Day on either one of those sites. But in 1958, President Eisenhower declared May 1st to be Law Day in the USA. And I just want to read you a little section of what the day is marked to be. And then I want you to think about what you're going to see on the news tonight when you watch it. He stated, in a very real sense, the world is no longer has a choice between force and law. If civilization is to survive, it must choose the rule of law. Law Day USA is a special day of celebration by the people of the United States. One, in appreciation of their liberties and reaffirmation of their loyalty to the United States and of their rededication of the ideals of equality and justice under law in their relations with each other and other countries. And it is number two, for the cultivation of the respect for law that is so vital to the democratic way of life. Just think about that when you watch the news tonight. You see, if you watch the news. Another question, and I was not aware of this website I'm going to tell you about until a little bit earlier this week, as I had my ears out, so to speak. Does anybody here know of or looked at the website called usafacts.org? F-A-C-T-S. USA Facts? Anybody? 1, 2, 3. That is an interesting website, and I would encourage you to look at it. I'm going to give you a little background on it. The site is still in work, and if you're familiar with technology terms, they'll talk about beta test and alpha test. This is a beta test site. But this was inspired by a conversation of the past Microsoft CEO, Steve Ballmer. He was talking with his wife, Connie, and she was saying, Steve, you need to get more involved in some philanthropic work. And a few things came about. And this thing evolved, and it's a group that has put this site up, and it really wanted to deal with the United States and make something that would be easy to use to learn something about what the United States government does for us and how it is funded. and without getting really lost in all the weeds. And it is centered around a part of the Constitution. In the preamble to the Constitution, I'm going to read a sentence out of that. And if you go to the website, you will see four, I'll call them bullets, 4 areas that you could go down and look at more detail. But in the preamble of the Constitution, it lays out 4 missions. 1, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility. The second one is provide for the common defense. A little sidebar on there. You know how to spell defense? I mean, really. There's 2 ways to spell it. And in the preamble of the Constitution, it's spelled the British way. If you think about when it was written, D-E-F-E-N-C, but the American is D-E-F-E-N-S-E. So we still have that British influence. Right. But that second, provide for the common defense. Number 3 was promote the general welfare. And number 4 is secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. And so when you look at that website, you will see those areas broken out. And if one of those you say, I'm kind of interested in that. And it shows you a lot of graphic ways. It tries to keep it very simple in terms of dollars. It's where does the funding come into next? In terms of government, it's talking about local, state, including special tax districts, all the way up to the feds, all the dollars and where they come from, and then how they're categorized to break out into these areas. And it's kind of surprising and interesting. And of course, some areas are more current than others, depends on where they're and where those statistics are and dollars and numbers are made available. But it is non-political. They don't have an agenda. It was just to say, if you have an interest viewed from that preamble of the Constitution, it might be interesting to look at. It's a beta test site, so I'd encourage you to look at those. Let's see. On a lighter note, did you hear about the couple that had a long, wonderful marriage? That is, until shortly after they became empty nesters. It seems that now that they were really focused on each other, they couldn't agree on anything. After a year of misery in every aspect of their lives, they went through a long, very bitter divorce. On the first day after their divorce, the woman died suddenly. And she arrived at the gates, the pearly gates of heaven. When she saw St. Peter there waiting for to greet her, she was so happy. She said to St. Peter, "Oh, this is such a wonderful place. How do I get in?" And he said, "Well, you have to spell a word." "A word? Which word?" And St. Peter said, "Spell rose." And she said, "Oh, that's easy. R-O-S-E. St. Peter welcomed her into heaven. And she was eternally grateful. Well, about a year later, St. Peter came to the woman and asked her, tell her, said, "You need to watch the gates of heaven for me because I've got an important all-day meeting with God." Well, as luck would have it, while she was guarding the gates, her ex-husband arrived. And she says, "Oh, I'm so surprised to see you here. How have you been?" She said, "Well, I've really been doing well since you died. I married that beautiful young nurse, that lived across the street from us. And then I won the lottery. So I sold that little house you and I shared, and I moved into a big mansion. Then my wife and I traveled all over the world. As a matter of fact, we were on vacation earlier today. We water skied. When I fell and hit my head on one of the skis, here I am. So how do I get in?" She says, "Oh, it's easy. You just have to spell a word." He said, "Okay, what's the word?" She said, "Spell chrysanthemum." Men, learn your flowers. How many of you folks, this would be probably for the little older members here, Does anybody here remember our past member, Sam Cartledge? Yeah. He died, I guess, about 8 years ago. He was a longtime member of the Rotary Club here. And I think he grew up down near Batesburg. But if you walked up to Sam, and he was known for a big smile and a warm personality, if you said, "Hey, Sam, tell the pig farmer joke," he would look and smile and say, "No, I can't tell you. I never heard." Did anybody hear the pig farmer joke? I never heard the pig farmer joke. Well, in memory of Sam, I've got a pig farmer joke. Farmer had 5 female pigs, sows. Times were getting hard and going to get worse. So he decided to take them to the county fair and sell them. He loaded his 5 female pigs into the family station wagon. That was the only road-worthy vehicle he had left, and took off to the county fair. Well, at the fair, he met another farmer who owned 5 male pigs, foals. And after talking a bit, they decided rather than sell out, they'd make their pigs and split everything 50-50. Well, farmers live about 60 miles apart, so they decided that each would drive 30 miles and they'd meet in a field somewhere to give the pigs a place to mate. So early the next morning, he once again loaded the 5 female pigs into the family station wagon and headed out. The 2 farmers found an appropriate fenced-in field and they unloaded their pigs. But while the pigs were mating, he asked the other farmer, the one with male pigs, he says, "How will I know if my females are pregnant?" He said, "Oh." He says, "Well, when you get up tomorrow morning, look out and see how they're lying around. If they're lying in the grass tomorrow morning, they're pregnant. If they're lying in the mud, they're not." So early next morning, pigs were rolled in the mud. So he hosed them off, loaded them again in the station wagon, and off he goes, rode back to the field. Well, this went on for a long time during the week, several days. And for more than a week, then the farmers were just worn out. So the next morning, it was Saturday morning, he was just too tired to get out of bed. So he said to his wife, he said, "Honey, please look outside and tell me whether the pigs are in the mud or in the grass." She yelled back, "Neither." He says, "Neither?" She says, "Yeah, they're in the station wagon, and one of them's in the front seat blowing a horn." All right. Thank you. All
right, thank you. We have one other announcement that Dee Shaw's going to make. I think you'll find this little announcement pretty exciting. I certainly did.
Thank you, President John. Many of you will remember on March 27th, Tommy Preston with Strategic Development from Boeing spoke to our club, and as he spoke, he invited us to come down and visit the North Charleston plant. That trip has been confirmed for Tuesday, June the 6th. A little bit of details: we will meet at Midlands Technical College at the airport campus to park your cars. Capital Tour Lines will provide us a charter bus. We will leave around 9 a.m. and get back about 5 p.m. So it will be a full day. We'll travel to Charleston, North Charleston, have lunch, and then the Boeing tour will actually last from 1 to 3 p.m. There are some recommendations or requirements from Boeing. One is that you cannot come in on a private vehicle, so if you want to make this trip, you will have to be on the bus. There are a few other things like closed-toed shoes and no cameras. But we have all of that spelled out in an informational sheet that Carol Farrington and I will share at the end of our meeting. We'll be out in the lobby and be happy to share that with you. The trip is restricted to the first 45 people who are interested and who sign up. The deadline for registration is May 22nd. After that, if we have a lot of interest and more than 45, Boeing has agreed to set up another tour for us a little bit later in the summer. But please pick up an informational sheet from either Carol or I today and let us know no later than May 22nd I do have to provide a list of all those who would be on the Boeing site that day. Thank you, President Jones.
That's really a special thing, and thank you, Kate, for working on that. That was really a great opportunity for our club. Not everybody in Columbia is getting that opportunity, by the way, so we hope that you'll join us, and if you're interested, I would sign up as quickly as possible. We're going to get on to our special program, and Meredith Atkinson will introduce our speaker today.
Thank you, President John. Good afternoon. I'm Meredith Atkinson. I'm the Executive Director of the Vista Guild, and it is my pleasure to introduce my friend, fellow Columbia Rotarian, Amy Beth Franks, Executive Director of the 5 Points Association. I can't tell you how refreshing it is to have a friend in Amy Beth. There's only one other person in this world who knows what it's like to run an entertainment district in the city of Columbia, and that is Amy Beth. She gets it. Amy Beth knows what it's like to sit through a 3-hour City of Columbia work session meeting only to find out at the end of the meeting that your agenda item has been moved to 2 weeks later. She knows what it's like to put all your eggs in the weather basket, fingers crossed, hoping and praying it doesn't rain because your event will be ruined and you might not make rent for the rest of the year. Amy Beth knows what it's like to have a very opinionated board of directors, some days breathing down your neck and other days you don't hear a word. I've started many conversations on the phone with Amy Beth, so I had a board meeting yesterday. She knows how painful it is to wake up at 3 a.m. to go on the 5 a.m. morning news the day of your big event, only to stay awake until 1 a.m. on that very same day. Amy Beth knows the incredible feeling you have when you hit send on your 30-page hospitality tax application and it is complete for yet another year. She also knows the very nervous feeling that we all have when we wait and hope that we will get funding for our next budget year. We are lucky to work alongside Main Street and Matt Kennel and our very own Libby Gober, who oversees our hospitality tax funds. When you hear Amy Beth, Matt, and I talk about each other and our districts, and we praise each other for our work, we really mean it. Matt and Amy Beth would agree that a new thriving restaurant in 5 Points is a win for the Vista, and it's a win for Main Street. A new hip wine bar on Main Street is a win for the Vista, and it's a win for 5 Points. We are truly each other's biggest cheerleaders because we only want to make downtown Columbia better for you. Originally from Summerville, South Carolina, Amy Beth has lived in Columbia since 2005 when she began her studies at the University of South Carolina. During her time at USC, Amy Beth interned for the 5 Points Association, the South Carolina State Senate, and the Office of Governor Mark Sanford. Amy Beth graduated from USC with a bachelor's degree in public relations and political science. Before joining the 5 Points Association team in 2011, Amy Beth worked in the governor's office for the administration of Mark Sanford. Upon the election of Governor Nikki Haley, Amy Beth took a position in her administration and eventually left to become part of a 4-person team charged with the creation of the Office of Inspector General. Amy Beth stayed with the governor until she was recruited by the 5 Points Association to serve as the deputy director. She is currently the executive director of the association, a position she has held since May 2013. When I asked Amy Beth the favorite part of her job, she said several things, but she said that she loves every day is very different. She loves being part of a thriving community and enjoys seeing the growth and the change for the good for the city of Columbia. She believes that bars, restaurants, retailers, local restaurants, and city officials should be working in unison to help promote a healthy and fully functioning neighborhood that is 5 Points. We are lucky that Amy Beth cares about making the city of Columbia a better place, and she does it with a smile on her face. She is a breath of fresh air, and she is beautiful on the inside and out. Please help me give a warm welcome to my friend, fellow Columbia Rotarian, and the Executive Director of the 5 Points Association, Amy Beth Franks.
That was an introduction, holy cow. Thank you. It's an honor, my privilege to be here today. I love the Columbia Rotary Club, and I would not be here if it weren't for all of our good friend, Colonel Jack Van Loan. Thank you for bringing me to this community. I love Rotary almost as much as I love 5 Points. But if you will, stick with me. We're going to go quickly through this PowerPoint presentation, and we will definitely hit a couple questions at the end because everybody's got something to say or something to ask about 5 Points. So we're going to start off with our Centennial video, if you don't mind playing it for me. It's brief, it might make you cry, and some of our stars from the video are here today.
I've been around this area for a long time, and I've always felt more comfortable with the atmosphere of 5 Points.
I think what makes 5 Points unique is that it sits in the middle of 7 neighborhoods, a cluster of mom and pops that are fiercely loyal to the 5 Points area.
It's like family, it's like a really hip Mayberry.
It sort of just nestles in this little valley and creates it's just a special little district.
Columbia's 5 Points, or in some cases what people like to call the village of 5 Points, was really a creation of the early 20th century, coming into its own by the late 1940s, really developing into a hot spot in so many ways for people who are interested in specialty shopping. You fast forward into the 1970s and 1980s, and 5 Points certainly still retained its kind of unique or funky quality. Now in the 21st century, you've got this really cool blend of personalities, architecture, and interests that are nestled within this valley, if you would, that's perched on the southeast corner of the original city limit.
There's something special about 5 Points because you're in a very large city. You're in the capital of South Carolina, but then you come to 5 Points and you feel like you're in a small town again. It's also nice because every store here is local, and so everybody is in this together, and they all know the feeling of being a small mom and pop store.
Well, I think it's one of the few easily accessible shopping districts in the city. You can zigzag your way around and you can pretty much find anything from a musical instrument to a pair of shoes to candy. There's just a great selection.
We have our high-end boutiques, we have our mom and pop shops, we have local coffee shops that are really nice. And I think keeping that next door neighborhood feel is really important.
There's shopping, there's food, there's culture, there's music, and most of all, the community of the 5 Points Association really digs in and tries to make a family-oriented community for everybody to come hang out.
You know, it's the fountain of youth. 5 Points is the fountain of youth. I get older every year, but it seems like the people that are out there are the same age. And I've been here for so long, I just feel like I'm part of the fabric down here.
For Columbia in the 21st century, 5 Points is a place that has retained much of its earlier character in some respects, while continuing to develop as a place where folks can go to experience unique things, unique entertainment, unique dining, unique shopping. There's a certain spirit about 5 Points that is nurtured by small business owners who are very involved with ensuring that their community retains those things that make it special.
So every little area probably has, maybe they have the same type of thing, but I know 5 Points does. You know, I feel it. I walk the streets and I can feel the love down here.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that video. I've probably seen it 100 times and I tear up every time. There's really no better way to describe our community other than a village. We're part of a family, and I take the role and the 5 Points Association's role very seriously in protecting and maintaining and fostering a business environment that drives people to come there and enjoy and gather and celebrate Final Four games and exciting things like that. So that video was made as part of our Centennial, which we celebrated in huge part thanks to the City of Columbia in 2015. It allowed us the opportunity to be the first district to wrap our traffic box wraps, do trash cans, light pole banners, all sorts of fun swag to help promote our neighborhood and rebrand us. It gave us the opportunity to enhance our digital presence. That is what drives people from outside of Columbia to 5 Points. That translates to Matt and Meredith and I as heads and beds and butts and seats, and that's our financial responsibility to the city to use our money to drive people in and bring their dollars. We've got over 21,000 likes on Facebook, over 6,000 followers on Instagram, and 16,000 people on Twitter. For those well-versed in social media, those numbers are pretty impressive. Our Centennial also gave us the opportunity to put 5 Points on an international platform. That's not something that you can pay for. Those are things that people come to you because of your district. We were able to be included in a Southern Living feature on a Paint 5 Points art initiative we did at the Gourmet Shop. We were featured in the big Delta Sky magazine feature on Columbia. And we also were chosen by an international travel show called Travels with Darley, which featured us as one of a 3-part Columbia episode, and it's still airing today on PBS, AOL, and other international platforms. Perhaps the biggest project that we did, and you all are no stranger to this, was the completion of our Centennial Plaza. That was done, again, in huge part to the City of Columbia, but also this Rotary Club. Because of you, and because of what Jack means to this community, the Columbia Rotary Club partnered with us. This is an original site plan, bird's eye view obviously, of the plaza to include a couple features. At the top, the big circle, that's our 3rd water feature in 5 Points. The statue of Jack is all the way towards the bottom. And then this shows what we were really trying to accomplish with our curb lines. Tightening up that egress and ingress from Blossom Street, creating a really nice flow from our bustling hospitality district to our residential community. So that's what it looked like originally. This really accentuates how you can exit from Blossom Street, looking between TD Mobile and TD Bank, and exit right off Blossom up into that neighborhood, almost as if you were exiting the interstate. The construction of the Centennial Plaza gave us the opportunity to bump out that curb line, revealing a beautiful piece of land with some strong potential to make a really beautiful pocket fountain. This is what it looks like now. If you drive down Blossom Street, this is what you'll see. To the right is our Kugel. It is a 6-foot-high, 20,000-pound Kugel. It's the largest in the state, and it's actually an interactive water feature. You can push it, turn it, change its direction. We have not officially unveiled the Kugel. We're still figuring out some kinks with the water disbursement on the bottom. The price you pay for being the first gig in town, I guess. And then the most important part of the plaza, as you all know, is our statue of Jack. Jack stands about 7 feet tall and was constructed bronze by Mariah Kirby. It was modeled after a photo taken of Jack as he was exiting the Hanoi Hilton, as he calls it, where he was kept as a guest and not allowed to leave for 6 years. This was an incredible opportunity for our club to honor Jack for what he's done, not only for our community, but as citizens, his fight for our freedom. We unveiled the fountain on Veterans Day, November 11th. It was the most impactful thing I could have ever done in 5 Points. To lead something like this to honor that man was an absolute privilege. We welcomed Congressman Joe Wilson, Senator Lindsey Graham, Mayor Benjamin, Seth Rose. It was a beautiful day. Jack, we hope that it meant half as much to you as it did to us. So what do our next 100 years look like? We've got big shoes to fill because the last 100 were pretty busy. A huge part of what we do in 5 Points is driven by St. Patrick's Day. We're funded in 2 ways. Hospitality tax, which we are thankful for, but it's our responsibility to make sure that we're sustainable. What if hospitality tax goes away? 5 Points can't go away. What the association does for that neighborhood can't go away. So it's important that we be good stewards of the money, that we reinvest everything that the city gives us, and we turn it into something profitable so that we can continue should those funds go away. So what did St. Pat's look like this year? Well, if you weren't there, shame on you. I was there, and it was an amazing day. We welcomed over 47,000 people into our city center in one day. We had 2,400 racers, 72 entries in the parade, thousands of children came and enjoyed the free children's area in MLK Park. We made donations of over $47,000 to 641 charitable groups. That's important. What that tells me is that St. Pat's not only has an economic impact on our brick and mortar neighbors, our businesses in 5 Points, on the 5 Points Association, but on charities that need this money, that depend on this money to pay for staff, to help programming. We're able to give Sustainable Midlands money so that they can go into schools and teach them the importance of farming locally and recycling. We help give money to sexual trauma services that can help women who've had experiences share their story and start the recovery process. St. Pat's is so much more than one day, and if I can help people understand that, then I consider my job to have been a success. So, since St. Pat's was a success, we can continue another year. We still have a job, Lauren. Our third phase of our train trestle project will hopefully happen here in a few days, thanks to our friends at Sign-O-Rama. They are going to do some excellent lettering across the steel on the train trestle. We were the first group in South Carolina to ever beautify a train trestle. That's huge. I looked at Dennis and Richard, I don't know if you remember this, on my first day as your interim executive director, and I said, I want to do the train trestle. And they laughed and said, good luck. And rightfully so, it took 4 years, but we're about to complete it. The first phase and the second phase included removing of the landscape that was there, clearing it, making it safe for both vehicular and pedestrian traffic. And we exposed the buttresses, removed the chip paint, reconditioned them, resurfaced them, and if you haven't driven down Blossom Street, please go take a look. Here's a rendering of one side and what it looks like now. If you know anything about 5 Points, it's probably that you have a difficult time parking there. We have a long-term problem that is parking. This is not a solution for that, but we are thankful to the city for investing in a parking lot for us where Exxon used to be. It's going to give us around 30 spots, and we're in the RFP process now. Hopefully it will be done soon. We're also working with our friends at One Columbia, Pecknell, and Drip to do a mural on the wall in that parking lot. We're going to the continuation of our tree beds lights all the way down Harvard Street. You all know 5 Points has a very rich music history. Hootie and the Blowfish is the tip of the iceberg. We've been home at Rockefeller's to Bonnie Raitt and REM and Dave Matthews. That's exciting. We need to celebrate that. We should educate people and bring more tourism to the city to show off these places. So we're working on a musical walking tour. These custom bronze medallions will be inserted in landmarks all over 5 Points and then hopefully spread throughout the city. We can do all of the marketing and beautification and events in the world, but you are not going to come to 5 Points with your family and your friends if it's not clean and safe. And that's a fact. So one of the most important things that we do every day is the running of our Clean and Safe program. We have 3 people that work hand in hand with CPD, ensuring that we're free of panhandlers and trash. They clean the neighborhood 7 days a week, working up into the arteries of our surrounding neighborhoods, because that's our responsibility. So, I got a few questions when I came in already about what's happening in 5 Points, our next phase of growth and development. Well, we are home over the last year to a couple new businesses. If you haven't checked them out yet, please do. They were all fantastic additions to our neighborhood. But Bit Columbia, Sunrise, Swept Yard, Koki Brothers, all locally owned, run. Most of them are women run, which is fantastic. We also have the station at 5 Points come. It's our 660-bed student housing development at the corner of Gervais and Hardin. The 5 Points Association had a seat at the table with the developers. Setbacks, materials, parking. That's what's so important about the 5 Points Association, having a seat at the table so that we can guarantee that developers are using the Future 5 plan that was set in place about 10 years ago. We're excited about the opportunity for the development of the 900 block that you've all heard so much about. Those developers have reached out. They have every intention of following our plan, and we are very excited about what this opportunity means for the continuation of 5 Points down Hardin Street all the way to Gervais. Also, we're all sad to see Harper's leave, obviously, but many of you are restaurateurs. 27 years is good. That was a good run. Harper's was a big part of our neighborhood for a long time. But now we have an opportunity for a new, exciting, new to Columbia, new to 5 Points restaurant to come in. So I am very excited to stand before you now and tell you that the growth and the development is coming, and hopefully you'll invite me back and I can speak on what will go there as soon as it's decided. So in an effort to save some time, we do have a short special presentation in a minute, but I will take some questions if anyone has any.
Tell us more, don't be a tease about Harper's.
Come on, you know, don't you know?
I am working with Mayor Benjamin, Ryan Coleman from Economic Development, Missy Coleman, to find the perfect spot. The Harpers has a couple years left on their lease, which is great because that allows us the opportunity to help in the process of finding the perfect tenant. That location is prime, parking, our opportunities are endless. There are several people that have approached the brokers. I'm not being a tease, I promise, that's all I can offer. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say that I've known you since you were a lowly intern, and I think you've done an amazing job in 5 Points, and I just commend you on all that you've done. And I know that y'all all agree with me. Richard knows. You are amazing.
Well, we've got something to give the Rotary Club, and I think you have something as well, so I'll let you take it from here. Thank you for having me.
You have done a wonderful job for 5 Points. It's a much more special place than it used to be just a few years ago. But a lot of that credit goes to our friend Colonel Van Loan sitting here, our past president, and several months ago, you came to us and told us about the park and the statue of Jack and wanted to know if our club could participate in some way. And our Centennial Association, our Centennial Committee heard about it, and we said, we want to be part of this. And for lots of reasons. One of the things that we all understand is Jack's been a wonderful president of our club. But more than that, Jack is one of those wonderful examples of what it means to give everything you've got to your country. And we wanted to be part of honoring that. So we pledged through the money that we were going to raise through our Centennial Fund, we placed $7,500 to help pay for the cost of the statue. And by God, we've raised some of that money, so we are here today to give you our $7,500 to the 5 Points Foundation for that particular purpose.
Thank you. On behalf of my board, I can't tell you how much that means to us, and I'm sure what it means to Jack. And it's not quite a check, but I have something to give you. We made a book from the photos from the unveiling on Veterans Day. We're happy to get one for anyone that would like one. We have one autographed by our very own Colonel Manlone here to go in the club archive, so we wanted to leave that here with you today.
I will tell you, my wife and I ended up in 5 Points to have our 30th anniversary dinner. Ran into Amy Beth while we were down there. And I wanted my wife to see what our club had participated in. So after dinner, we drove over to the memorial, and she said, this is absolutely inspiring. And so I would suggest any of you who have not seen it, that you go down and take a look. The one thing she said is that the bronze statue is so lifelike. And you were a pretty good-looking guy back in those days. A lot of us were there for the dedication, but I know some of you have not seen it, and if you haven't, you need to. I promise you, you need to go see it. And your club has been a part of making it possible. So we'll end there. Amy Beth, I'll thank you again for all you've done for 5 Points and for our city. And thank you for being here today. We'll end now without song because we are running late. I will tell you, as you know, our Senator Lindsey Graham was scheduled for next Monday, but there's some urgency in Washington that he has to be there for and cannot be here. We are working very hard to find comparable quality speaker, since we promised you a good one next Monday. And we're working very hard to make sure that next Monday will be a good presentation. So thank you all for being here today, and we will end with a gong. Thank you.